There's one thing I didn't hear you mention. The DNA. I'd like to talk about that with you. You're not disputing that your DNA is underneath Mr. Gehrman's fingernails, are you?
Yes, I am.
Okay. But you've heard the testimony. It's there, correct?
I don't know if it was there or at what point it might have gotten there, sir.
Okay. I'm not asking you how it got there. Are you really denying that your DNA is underneath the fingernails?
Without knowing the truth, yes, I am.
Okay. Well, you've heard witnesses testify.
Right.
So the DNA lab's in on it too?
I don't know. I don't know at what point. I don't know what point the sample was collected.
Sir, please tell this jury, how in the world does your DNA get underneath Mr. Gehrman's fingernails?
I don't know because I did not kill Mr. Gehrman.
You have no idea how it could have gotten underneath your fingernails, correct?
Under my fingernails?
I'm sorry, under his fingernails, correct?
I don't know that it ever was, sir.
All right. Let's do it another way. You and Mr. Gehrman are not friends, are you?
No.
Okay. You don't hang out with him ever?
Sir, I did not ever hang out with Mr. Gehrman when he was
The
alive.
answer to my question is yes. You didn't hang out with him ever, correct?
I did not.
He's never invited you over to his house.
No, sir.
You've never hung out, had drinks at a bar, correct?
No, sir.
There would be really no opportunity for him ever to put his hands on you in any sort of social situation, correct?
Correct, sir.
And yet, these two people who are not friends, your DNA just happens to be underneath his fingernails, correct?
No, sir.
Okay. You just don't think it was legitimately placed there, correct? Or are you just ignoring the testimony of all of the witnesses that talked about how your DNA was underneath the fingernails?
Again, at some point or another, I believe it was planted because I did not kill Mr. Gehrman.
So, and by that logic, if you believe it was planted, you were at least admitting, yes, my DNA is underneath his fingernails, correct? Can you at least agree with me on that?
Whether it came from a sample of the fingernails or a different sample altogether, I don't know. I couldn't tell you, sir.
The answer to my question is yes. You've at least acknowledging my
No, sir.
physical DNA is underneath the fingernails.
No, sir.
Okay, great. So you're just going to disregard what all the other DNA witnesses said about this, correct?
Okay,
that's fair. That's fine. Totally fine. Let's I still want to touch on this. You would agree that if I came up to you and I scratched your face or scratched your chest, there's a possibility I could get skin cells underneath my fingernails, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You would agree that if someone was trying to fight for their life and were scratching at the killer, they could potentially get DNA from the killer underneath their fingernails. That's a possibility, right?
Is that speculation or is that?
No, I'm just asking you if it's a possibility.
I would imagine so.
Okay. Let's talk about your house for a second. When they went over to your house, they took a look underneath your couch. Publishing 224. That's your couch, right?
That is my couch.
And underneath your couch is a shoe and a chopped up shoe, right?
Right.
Okay. That's the gray Nike, correct?
Pure so, yes, sir.
Publishing 228. That's what it looks like, correct?
Yes, sir.
It's gray in color, correct?
Yes.
It is a Nike brand, correct?
Yes, sir.
It has a black swoosh, correct?
Yes, sir.
It has 4 horizontal, or at least vertical bars in the middle of that shoe, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. You would agree with me. That's the shoe that the killer was wearing, correct?
I don't know that that's the case.
You don't know? Well, it sure looks a heck of a lot like it, right?
Yes, it could be the same model, but it could be a different size.
Sure. Let's just look at it.
Mm-hmm. I don't disagree that it's the same model.
Right. It's the exact same type of shoe, right?
Right.
Okay. So we're not in dispute about that. We can agree on that, right?
Right, yes, sir.
And your DNA is in those shoes that are found in your house, correct?
I don't know that to be the case.
Okay, but that's the whole thing of it's a setup and I think the DNA people are framing me. Something along those lines, right?
Whether it's them or someone else?
You've
sure.
heard the results. The results say that your DNA is in that shoe. We did hear that, correct?
That is what we heard.
Okay. And you just think it's just another part of the conspiracy to somehow get your DNA into those shoes?
So I believe that there are officers who, when they think that a fellow officer needs help plugging holes in the case, that they're willing to do what they have to.
Okay. All right. You'd characterize this case as a case that has holes?
I think that Detective Jappy decided he wanted me for this, and everybody decided to assist him because they thought,
So Jappy's a part of it now, too.
oh, he's always
So
been.
we've got the DNA lab, we've got Jappy, we've got Mog. We haven't even touched Compass yet. We will. We'll get there because they're part of it, too, correct?
So they paid Detective Jappy, yes.
Okay, great. Well, we're going to get to all that in a second.
Of course, absolutely, sir.
So here's the thing. Are the shoes underneath the sofa of your house, are those actually your shoes?
That I don't know for sure. I do have similar ones, but again, I have not,
Oh, you similar. Publishing 360.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same shoe, isn't it?
It is potentially the same shoe as the one, yes.
Well, sir,
Mhm.
you're not doubting that this is a photograph of shoes that belong to you, correct?
Right.
Okay.
This is me.
So this wasn't planted evidence, right?
The picture of the shoe, no.
Okay, great. And you were claiming ownership over that shoe, right?
Right.
So it's gray in color, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's got the black Nike swoosh, correct?
Right.
It's got the 4 black horizontal bars in it, right?
Right.
And you would agree with me, when you wore those shoes, you probably left your DNA behind there in those shoes, right?
Yes, sir.
And you're saying now that it's just a pure coincidence that the exact same type of shoe sitting underneath your couch in your house with your DNA on it, that's not the shoe?
Remember that I was under surveillance by Detective Jappy, and this was on a day that I was under surveillance.
Let's get back to my question, sir.
Yeah.
You're trying to tell me that the shoe that you see in that photograph, that you claim ownership on, that you say you put your DNA in, that looks identical to the shoe that's underneath your sofa, underneath the recliner, you're saying those two are not the same shoes?
I don't know that they are.
Okay. It's just another crazy coincidence, right?
When somebody chops up a shoe and puts it under the couch, that's a little strange.
Right. And here's the interesting thing. Look at the date on this. This is August 19th,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes, sir.
So
And
we're
again,
talking,
surveillance started at 8:16.
Right. No. But this image is in your phone, right?
This particular image, I'm sure I'd likely texted it to my wife to say, "Hey, I'm rock climbing indoors."
So here's the thing. How? Oh, so you're saying, okay. So you believe because you were under surveillance, what? That they knew the type of shoes you were wearing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You've seen the photos from the surveillances, right?
I have seen some of the photos from some of them. Not everything was produced to me.
You're not wearing the Nikes.
Not everything was produced to me, sir.
Okay. Of what was produced to you, which was everything,
It was not.
you're not wearing the Nikes on the days that you're surveilled. Isn't that right?
This
Sir,
819 was
I
during.
need you to focus on my question. Isn't it true on the days that you are surveilled, you're not wearing the Nikes, correct?
That is not true.
Okay. So we'll pull them and we'll take a walk down that lane, because every single day, isn't it true you are not wearing the Nikes?
That is not true, sir.
Okay, you're wearing your little moccasins, the gray ones, the topsiders. Remember those? You own those, right? You own the gray topsiders, right?
What are topsiders? I don't know.
I'm dating myself, I guess. But they're like a boat shoe. They're kind of like it's like almost like a grayish felt, but they're not Nikes. You were wearing those when you were surveilled, correct?
If you want to put the photos, I can confirm
The
whatever.
answer to my question is no, you don't know the answer as to what shoes you're wearing on the days you were surveilled.
I have
correct?
like a tan shoe that I probably wore during some surveillance.
Don't worry. We'll get the photos and we'll go through it.
Absolutely.
Okay. So here's the thing. If Compass Realty framed you, how in the world would they know about these shoes?
Again, I said that I was under surveillance by Metro on this date, 8/19, and obviously they took photos and they provided those to Detective Jappy.
Okay.
So
what? And then Jappy did what with them?
passed them to whomever he needed to. Again, I didn't commit the murder, so
Okay. So, sir, there's no way Compass Realty could know you had shoes like that.
they're
Correct?
not without being informed.
Okay. And this phone and this data about your phone, isn't produced until after you're arrested, correct?
I don't know when it was produced.
Okay. You had your phone with you on the day that you're arrested, right?
Yes, sir.
Like, you didn't give it to Jappy in early September, did you?
No, sir.
No, you had it with you the whole time until you get arrested, right?
That I know, yes, sir.
And that was on September 7th, correct?
Yes, sir.
Therefore, the only way anyone could learn about information inside your phone would have to be after the murder was committed, correct?
No, sir.
Okay. You think there's a way that someone could have found the contents of your phone prior to the murder?
We heard earlier about the fact that someone can actually hack phones, yes. And whether it was that they found it that way or by surveillance?
We heard about the hack. It was just a question asked by your attorney. No witness ever testified that your phone was hacked, correct?
But you asked if there was only one means, and
Okay.
no, there's more than one means, sir.
Okay. Sir, let's just be clear about one thing. You have had possession of your phone through the entire month of August of 2022, correct?
It wasn't in my sight 24/7.
Sure, but you weren't loaning to anyone, correct?
No, sir.
You didn't give it to Compass Realty, correct?
That would be weird.
Yeah, it would be. You didn't give it to Derek Jappy, correct?
No, sir.
You didn't give it to Cliff Mogg, correct?
No, sir.
Because you didn't even know who Cliff Mogg was at that point, correct?
No, sir.
You didn't give your phone to anybody from Metro, correct?
That's correct, sir.
All right, so now let's get to some of the other interesting things that are in your phone. Oh, by the way, and you also have DNA on the scissors, right? Or are we denying that? Or is that one you're at least acknowledging because of the cooking thing?
No, my blood was on those scissors.
Okay, so Metro got that one right.
Yes.
That wasn't a frame job.
No, well, I do think that they used some of the DNA from that, but
Before we move on, I gotta ask you this too. So, like, if Metro's really, so you think Metro's framing you for this?
as I said before, I think that we've got some officers who are overzealous and who've decided to help Jappy plug holes in his case,
Sure.
not knowing what his relationship was with Compass Realty.
Here's
I object,
sir.
if you'd be allowed to answer the question before.
Okay,
The next question, please.
sir, I got a question for you. If the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department wanted to frame you, why didn't they put the murder weapon in your house?
I think that maybe, I don't know. I mean, it's a good question. I mean,
Great question, because if the murder weapon that had Gehrman's DNA in it was inside your house, wouldn't that be an even better case?
yeah, but at the same time, I think
But it's not there, is it?
no.
No, it's not. Even though, according to you, they control everything, they don't put the murder weapon on you?
Mm-hmm.
Does
Well,
that make any sense?
I think it does.
Okay. How about this? If Compass Realty wants to kill you, why don't they encourage Metro like, we'd really like you to put the murder weapon in there? Why didn't they do something like that?
I don't know.
That seems really odd that the most significant thing is not in your house, correct?
I think what's odd is that 5 days after the murder, that supposedly there was a shoe
So the answer
and
to my
also a
question-
hat in my house.
So the answer to my question, the most significant piece of evidence, the murder weapon, is not in your house despite your theory you've been framed.
That's correct, sir.
Let's talk about this. We've seen the picture of the killer. What's the most notable thing, by far the most notable thing on the killer's person?
It's either the hat or the shirt.
It's the shirt, right?
Mhm.
And that shirt is not in your house, is it?
No.
If Metro or Compass or Rita or Cliff all wanted to frame you, why didn't they put the bright orange coat in your house?
I couldn't speak to that. All I can tell
Doesn't
you is,
that sound not very professional if they're trying to set you up?
I don't know, maybe for plausibility's sake, they put half the
Oh,
stuff
they
in
want
there.
to
I'm
dial
not
it
sure.
back.
I don't know.
Okay. Here's another thing. Why don't they cover your car in Gehrman's DNA? Why did they do that?
Because they didn't have access to the car until the day that Mr. Mogg took photos.
But they have, I mean, they control everything. They take it to their CSI garage and they just rub it full of DNA. Why is there no DNA of Gehrman in your car? And if they want to frame you, why isn't it there? Do you have an answer for that?
Sir, I don't know.
Okay. But one of the things that we do know is that prior to your arrest, you do in fact wash that car, correct?
The exterior only.
You still wash it, correct?
Oh, yes.
And your testimony to this jury was, After Rita told me about the tweets about the car that I found so strikingly similar, I went out and washed my car. You told them that on direct. Isn't that correct?
No, sir.
You mean Roberta?
I meant Roberta. After Roberta told you, gosh, that looks just like your car, and you read John R. Custer's tweet, you went out and that prompted you to start washing the Yukon.
No.
That's not your testimony.
No. I said that I washed all 3 vehicles.
Great. Including your Yukon.
Yes.
Right. Because you'd agree if you only wash one of them, that might look a little suspicious, right?
I don't know that I was planning things to be suspicious or not suspicious, sir.
Okay. But let's just be clear. You would agree with me, washing things can make evidence go away. Isn't that right?
I would think DNA evidence would be inside of a vehicle, not on the outside, sir.
Okay. Sir, you'd be surprised.
Okay.
But that's
well,
not the
I guess
point.
I guess I would be surprised then.
My question is this. Washing things can make evidence go away, correct?
Could it possibly? Yes.
Thank you. Let's continue down the path of what's in your phone. Going to be, oh, I hope I didn't ruin this. I'm going to be, let's see if this pulls up. We're going to be publishing Exhibit 354. Sure.